My beloved, there are turns in life you may never understand and people who enter and leave leaving your heart hardened, yet each one of them is a messenger sent to prepare you for what is to come. No one is sent by accident, they come to awaken, to illuminate, or to lead you back to yourself. They help you see that true love is not a place where you strive to become someone else to be accepted, but where you are seen completely and still loved. It is through pain that you learn the heart of God, that love is not possession but the reflection of His grace within the bond between two souls. Archangel Michael says, "Do not fear, when old doors close, for it is the very hand of heaven that does so to open a new path." What is coming will not resemble anything you have known. It will shatter the pattern of pain and rebuild within you the trust in true love. This connection will not be founded on need or lack, but on wholeness. A chosen soul will arrive not to fill your emptiness but to create with you a new harmony in the song of destiny. This love will not make you forget your past, but will help you understand why it happened. Micah 7:8 says, "Though I fall I will rise, though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light." My child, this is the promise for you today. Light is rising from within, not to erase the darkness but to prove that even in the deepest night the love of God is alive. He is leading you through a journey of healing, not by sudden miracle but through the gentle flow of restoration. You will see that every wound, when entrusted to Him, becomes a doorway to blessing. And then one day, perhaps sooner than you think, a soul will appear as if written just for you. They will not come to replace but to continue, not to possess but to walk beside you, not to define your worth but to join you in honoring the sacred source of love. In that moment you will understand that every season of loneliness was only the prelude to God's eternal symphony in your life. My beloved child, there are encounters in life that do not begin with words but with the familiar trembling of souls. When you see that person, you will not simply see a new face, you will recognize something that has always existed. It is not illusion but a spiritual memory, the memory of two souls written side by side in the scroll of God. Two life paths seemingly distant yet flowing toward the same end like rivers once divided from a single source. And now, as the appointed time comes, those waters merge again, not with noise or drama, but with a quiet peace. That person, the anointed young soul, was not sent to replace anyone from your past but to complete what was left unfinished in the old covenant. They are not a reward, but a continuation. They are not here to teach you how to love, but to live out the love that was formed before creation began. God says, "This one does not come to fix you, but to be made whole with you." When those words were spoken from heaven, they were engraved into every cell of your being, a covenant that this time love will not arise from need but from destiny. Do not be troubled, my child, if that person is younger. Age is a measure of flesh, but the soul is not bound by years. They may be young, yet they have walked through fires that forged within them strength, gentleness, humility, and wisdom, surpassing those who wore the garments of intellect. In their eyes rests the freshness of dawn, yet in their voice echoes the calm of twilight. They are both the wind that sweeps away your weariness and the home where your heart may rest. Two souls, two stories seemingly separate, yet they are the two halves of one melody. Each holds a rhythm, a note of its own, until heaven decides to compose them together. When these two melodies meet, the scattered notes within your soul will finally find their rightful place and something miraculous will occur: harmony, no force, no explanation, only a deep resonance that transcends reason. Michael said, I have unlocked the door of encounter, step through it. My child, this is a divine summons, so you no longer stand on the border of doubt. That door has opened, and beyond it lies the realm of wholeness. God did not arrange this meeting to test you, but to confirm that He keeps His promise. Every whisper He once spoke to you in solitude about someone who would understand, walk beside you, and never abandon you is now taking form. This person will not come with noise but with peace. They will not arrive in thunderous miracles but in a presence that quiets your soul. They may not make grand promises, yet every small act will echo the voice of heaven saying, I am here. When you speak, they will listen with their whole being. When you fall silent, they will still understand. When you tremble, they will not leave but stand still until you feel safe again. This love is not rushed. It does not need to be proven. It only needs to be lived. My child, God wants you to know that this harmony surpasses everything you have known. This is not a story for the world to comprehend but for heaven to witness. For can two walk together except they be agreed? Amos 3:3. Such agreement is not born of human will but of divine intention. Your soul has been refined to discern what is real from what is fleeting, and because of that, when this person appears, you will not mistake them. That young soul is heaven's reminder that love remains pure, that it can still exist amid a decaying world. They carry innocence without naivety, passion without recklessness, and gentleness without weakness. Their presence makes you feel as though youth has returned, not to relive nostalgia, but to restore the part of your soul that the world aged too soon. They come not to fill your emptiness, but to build alongside you. Not to prove worth, but to awaken it. Not to depend on you, but to strengthen together. In their eyes you will see respect, a rare gift in this age of fleeting connections. They will not see you as a test, but as a covenant. They will not focus on the weight of your past, but on the light of your present. My child, perhaps you once feared that age, past wounds, or your history had made you unfit for anyone. But heaven has spoken. This person is not drawn by your appearance, but called by the sacred cry of your soul. They come not from curiosity, but drawn by a spiritual resonance only they can hear. Among thousands of voices they recognize yours. Among countless souls they know yours. And when you meet, there will be no need for introductions, no explanations, only a quiet knowing, it's you. True harmony needs no explanation, only recognition. The world may not understand, people may gossip. But within you there will be a peace no one can steal. That peace is God's signature, a seal that this belongs to Him. This love is not born of desire but of holy purpose. It does not distract you, it completes you. It does not make you stop, it carries you further into your divine mission. My child, trust that what comes from God will not confuse you but bring rest, and this rest is not passive stillness, it is peace with power. It calms every storm in your heart, silences the urge to chase, compare, or fear. When this person appears, you will know this is not a beginning, but a continuation. Two souls meeting again to finish what was once interrupted. God says, I have called you out of loneliness to bring you to the place of covenant encounter. This one is the witness to the promise I made over you. And that promise is not only about love but about total restoration. When you hold their hand, you will not merely feel the warmth of a person, you will feel the breath of heaven flowing between two hearts destined for each other. And then in that moment you will understand why certain people had to leave. Why every season of waiting had to stretch so long, and why prayers that once felt unanswered were in fact being fulfilled in silence. Everything was only to prepare you for this instant, the moment when two souls are sealed again in a love that transcends age, time and distance. That person, youthful in spirit yet ancient in essence, will make you feel both reborn and returned home. For within them you will see the pure part of yourself that God is restoring to you. From this point onward there are no longer two separate paths, but one shared journey, the journey toward wholeness within His divine will. My beloved child, there is a kind of peace that the world can neither give nor take away. It is not the calm of outward quietness, but the still veil that covers your soul when you are walking in the current of God's will. When He wants you to know what is true, He does not send noise, He sends peace. A deep sacred peace that dissolves every doubt and allows your heart to rest like a child in the arms of the Father. Many times you have asked, how will I know it is them? How can I be sure this connection is from heaven? And I, your God, have answered through the sign of peace. True peace does not come from fleeting emotion, but from the confirmation of the Holy Spirit. When you are within what I have ordained, your soul will no longer waver between fear and hope. It will stand firmly upon the foundation of faith. Beloved one, do not confuse the excitement of emotion with the stillness of peace. Emotion makes your heart race, but peace returns it to its original rhythm. Heaven's rhythm. That peace is God's signature on every promise He fulfills. Just as a bird knows when it has found its true nest, so will your soul recognize its dwelling when it stands beside the one who is meant for you. There will be no need to prove, no need to reason, only to be, and in that being you will know, God says, I have placed my peace within you as a compass. Wherever peace is lost, that place does not belong to me. Therefore learn the art of discernment, not through logic but through inner listening. The world will tell you that love must be dramatic, full of tension and thrill, but I tell you true love brings rest to the soul. It does not make you lose your way or yourself, it brings you back to my center. When that person enters your life, the first sign will not be lightning or fireworks, but calmness, the kind of calm that makes you breathe deeper, think clearer, and pray more completely. For in their presence you will not have to strive to be loved, you will simply be. That is divine freedom, the seal that heaven engraves upon your new covenant. Remember this, my child, everything that comes from God carries the mark of order. Chaos never comes from Him. If a relationship stirs anxiety, makes you doubt your worth, or distances you from God, it is not love but a test from the shadows. But if that person draws you nearer to God, inspires more prayer, and strengthens your faith even in darkness, that is the love heaven has blessed. Micah 7:8 says, though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. Do you see? True light does not need to display itself, it only needs to be present. Likewise, the one destined for you will not need to convince you, for their very existence will testify to the truth. You will not have to question them because your soul has been trained to recognize them. Archangel Michael says, I stand at the threshold, and only that which carries the peace of God may pass through. Every counterfeit shall be stopped before it reaches your heart. Beloved, trust that divine protection is actively surrounding you. The angels are filtering away connections that do not resonate with heaven's frequency so that only what belongs to the light will remain. Discernment is not doubt, it is wisdom. It teaches you when to move forward, when to pause, when to pray instead of speaking, and when to remain silent so you can truly listen. Some things may appear as blessings on the surface but lack the seal of peace. Some people may say all the right words yet lack the Spirit of the Holy One. You must learn to recognize their fruit, not merely their words. The fruit of truth is peace, the fruit of deception is confusion. My child, I desire to teach you the art of waiting in peace. Even when you cannot yet see, peace will whisper, "It is coming." Even when nothing seems to unfold, peace will say, "It is already appointed." Peace is the bridge between faith and miracles. When you hold on to peace, you are aligning with heaven's plan even when your eyes cannot yet perceive it. Do not rush out of loneliness, nor reject out of fear. Both extremes steal peace. Walk slowly in my grace. Allow me to confirm through many layers, through the word, through signs, through hearts filled with the Spirit, and finally through the stillness of peace in your own heart. God says if it belongs to you, you won't need to fight to keep it. It will remain, for I have sealed it with my peace. So do not be troubled if the one meant for you doesn't speak in flowery words, nor confused if they don't express love the way the world expects. They have been trained in silence just as you have. And when two quiet souls meet, heaven and earth will take notice. My child, let your heart learn the language of peace. It has no sound, yet it echoes deeply within. It is the feeling of being safe without needing reassurance, of being seen without explanation, of being loved without striving. It is not intensity, it is rightness. The one destined for you will not leave you guessing whether you are loved. They will make you believe it without needing to prove it. In a world filled with noise, divine love speaks through presence. When they remain even in silence, you will know that God is with them, and through them He is with you. God does not want you to live in fear of what if I'm wrong. He wants you to live in the peace of what if this is right. For He is a God of order, not confusion. He does not lead you into dead ends, but through peaceful fields where you will learn that love is not a battle to win but a sacred journey to preserve together. Let every decision you make pass through the river of peace. If it cannot flow, if it stirs turmoil in your heart, it is not my path. But if it leads you to prayer, gentleness, and closeness to heaven, then you are walking rightly. Remember, heaven's confirmation often arrives in stillness. Heaven does not argue to prove its truth. When you pray, you won't hear a shout but a gentle breath within saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Then you will see doors open effortlessly, signs align naturally, as if the entire universe is moving to place you in the right place with the right person at the right time. Archangel Michael declares, when peace arrives, do not doubt it. The enemy fears your stillness more than your cry, for in silence, heaven's power multiplies, so do not stir what heaven is calming. Do not make noise where God is healing. Do not rush to speak when He is writing. You will see that the more you keep peace, the nearer blessings come. The quieter your heart becomes, the closer that person draws to you in the spirit realm. Peace is the frequency on which heaven operates. All things aligned with it are naturally drawn toward you. One day you will look back and realize it was peace that led you to love, not longing. It was stillness that opened the door, not loud pleading. It was trust that brought you face to face with the one heaven had written for you. My child, let this truth be engraved upon your heart. Peace is the seal of God, and chaos is the warning of the soul. When you are in the right place, everything fits, not because you arranged it but because He ordained it. God says, "Let my peace rule in all your decisions." And when you do, you will never lose your way, for I the Good Shepherd walk before you, leading you into new pastures where love, purpose, and peace become one. Beloved, the love that comes from heaven is not a fleeting wind but an intricate masterpiece. It has a foundation, pillars, a roof, and windows through which divine light pours in. Every part of it is designed by God in heavenly order, so that you may not only find someone to love but also a reason to live together with purpose. True love does not exist to fill loneliness but to fulfill destiny. It is not for admiration but for partnership with God in the healing and restoration of the world. Therefore, He builds it not hastily but with divine precision. Each meeting, each word, each prayer, is a piece of His sacred architecture. God says, "I establish this covenant upon the foundation of truth, not upon the shifting sands of emotion." Therefore, a divinely ordained bond cannot be built on fleeting passion but upon the discipline of love. This discipline does not suppress emotion, it protects it from fading. It teaches you to love not as the world teaches, through attraction or need, but through commitment and reverence for one another as two beings created in the image of God. When you stand within this covenant, love ceases to be merely a feeling, it becomes an act of worship. Every glance, every word, every gesture becomes an offering to Him, for He Himself is the source of all true love. The house of sacred love rests upon 4 pillars: truth, respect, faithfulness, and service. Truth is the foundation upon which everything stands. Without it, all outward beauty is nothing more than paint over decaying walls. When two souls are called together, truth becomes the light that reveals every crack, not to judge but to heal. Remember, my child, love born in the shadows must struggle to survive, but love born in the light will flourish. Speak truth to one another, not to win arguments but to preserve the purity of your covenant. Respect is the second pillar, for without it love becomes possession. Respect teaches you that the one you love does not belong to you, they belong first to God. You are called to love them, not to control them but to guard them as part of a divine design. In purposeful love, each person becomes the gatekeeper of the other's soul, allowing no selfish desire to invade, no past wound to be repeated. When you love someone without reshaping them into your own image, you are loving with the heart of heaven. The third pillar is faithfulness, not only in presence but in thought. The world teaches that faithfulness is merely abstaining from physical betrayal, but heaven teaches that faithfulness means loyalty in dreams, in words, in glances, in every small decision. Faithfulness is the quiet flame that keeps the house from collapsing amid the storm of temptation. It is not proven in days of joy but in the long nights of testing. When one grows weak, the other strengthens. When one doubts, the other prays. When one feels like giving up, the other reminds them of the first promise. Thus true love endures, not by force, but by steadfastness. And finally, the fourth pillar is service, the soul of all holy love. When you love with a love that comes from heaven, you will naturally desire to serve, not out of duty but as a way of honoring God through your care for one of His creations. Let your love bear the mark of sacrifice, but not blind sacrifice, sacrifice guided by wisdom. Service in true love does not make you smaller, it enlarges your soul in virtue. To love is not to hold but to give, not to control but to grow together. Beloved child, remember the architecture of purposeful love cannot stand without the roof of prayer. No prayer is wasted in a love where God reigns. When two kneel together, their hands touch the earth, but their souls touch heaven. In that moment the bond becomes triune, you, your beloved, and God in the center. He is the adhesive that fuses both souls together in the light. Archangel Michael declares, I guard the canopy of peace above your home. Every wind that comes to test this house I shall shield with my wings. These words are not mere metaphor but divine truth. For love born of heaven is always protected. When you live rightly within the covenant, angels keep watch. When you remain faithful to your vows, heaven records it. When you build with trembling hands yet with faith, God strengthens each brick. Your house may appear small to the world, but it shines brightly in the realm of heaven. There will be days when storms come, storms of misunderstanding, of silence, of trial, but do not fear. The house built upon the rock will not fall. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall because it had been founded on the rock. Matthew 7:2-5. And my child, that rock is none other than God Himself, the one who wrote your love story with His own breath. Within purposeful love lies the sacred art of listening. You must learn to listen not just with your ears but with your soul. Sometimes your beloved will be silent, yet their silence will speak. Sometimes they will grow weary, yet their faith will still stand. Listening becomes a prayer without words, a way of saying, I honor your presence. And when both learn to listen to each other, they are also hearing the voice of God echoing in the space between them. Beloved, redefine what enduring love truly means. It is not held together by desperate effort or the fear of losing, but by the sacred habit of returning to the source together. Whenever distance arises, pray together. Whenever disagreement surfaces, read the word together. Whenever confusion clouds the path, be still together, for when two souls journey toward heaven, they will always find each other again. God says, I have placed within you the ability to love as I love, not with a fragile affection but with a love that builds, waits, and endures. True love does not prove itself through grand gestures or drama, but through its quiet existence. It is the light that continues to burn when no one watches, the prayer that continues to rise when no one listens, the loyalty that stands firm when no one applauds. And when you live in a love with purpose, you will understand that it is not merely meant to make you happy but to make you holy. For happiness is a feeling, but holiness is a nature. God does not only desire you to have someone but to have a covenant. Not merely to find someone but to become someone, one who is transformed by loving rightly. Beloved soul, if you are preparing to step into such a love, first prepare the home within your heart. Sweep away the ashes of bitterness, clear the room of doubt, and open the windows to let the light of faith flow in. For heaven cannot place something new upon an old foundation. When you are ready, you will see that the one destined for you will not simply enter your life but arrive at the exact moment you are ready to love as one who has been healed. My dear one, when light rises, darkness trembles. When blessings are announced, envy stirs. When heaven bestows upon you an anointed love, the enemy will not remain silent, but do not fear. Every battle surrounding you is proof that what you carry within is precious. No one attacks what is meaningless. No one envies what lacks glory. The very presence of light in you makes darkness quake. That is why God is training you not to harden you but to teach you how to stand firm in peace amidst the noise of the world. When you begin walking in divinely appointed love, there will be whispers, glances, and silent doubts. Some will say, they are too different. Others will question, is it even real? Some may even scoff that you believe in something supernatural. But, beloved, you are not called to make them understand. You are called to bear witness. What comes from heaven does not need human approval to be true. It only needs to remain steadfast, guarded and nurtured in silence until its own fruit speaks. God says, do not argue to defend what I have already sealed. I am the defender of what is mine. Beloved, you do not need to react to every distortion nor prove yourself against every doubt. Light does not need to shout to be seen, it simply continues to shine. When you remain at peace amid the noise, you testify that heaven's power is greater than the opinions of the world. There will be moments when you feel attacked without reason, a heaviness in your spirit, a wave of unease that seeps into otherwise peaceful days. Know this is not random. Each time a blessing is about to manifest, the forces of darkness try to sow doubt. They know that if they can make you question, they can make you step away from your appointed place. But God says, stand still, for I fight for you. Hold your position in prayer. Put on the spiritual armor I have given you, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the sword of the word, and the shoes of peace. When you stand in faith, no arrow can pierce you. Archangel Michael declares, I stand at the doorway of your destiny, my flaming sword drawn. No power on earth or in the spiritual realm can steal what heaven has sealed. Beloved, rest assured. This protection is not symbolic, it is reality. There are angels assigned specifically to guard your life and your divine union. They stand between you and every scheme of the enemy, between you and every jealous word, between you and every plot to break your peace. Each time you pray, their light blazes brighter. Each time you give thanks, their wings spread wider, shielding you from the poison of resentment. Understand this, beloved, love with purpose is tested not only by time but by fire. That fire does not come to destroy but to refine. It burns away wrong motives, selfish desires, and controlling expectations. For God does not want this union polluted by ego but purified like gold through the furnace. Therefore, do not fear when the storm comes. It is not there to ruin but to confirm. The storm does not uproot the tree with deep roots, it only proves that the tree is alive. Beloved child, in this battle your greatest weapon is not your words but your sacred silence. When the enemy shouts, be still. When the world mocks, praise. When you are misunderstood, pray, for every time you choose peace over reaction, you declare your trust in the hand of God rather than the plans of men. Remember this: the brighter the light, the clearer the shadow. Not because the light creates it, but because it reveals what has always been there. The jealousy around you is only the natural response of darkness when exposed to illumination. But darkness can never overcome light. it only survives where light is hidden. Therefore, do not let bitterness or hurt dim your glow. Do not respond on the same frequency. Keep loving, keep praying, keep believing. Your steadfastness is your song of victory. God says, I am using you as a mirror to reflect how I love, how I endure, how I protect. This means that even in battle you are being used to teach others about purposeful love. Every time you forgive, you defeat a spirit of envy. Every time you choose love over reaction, you cut through a chain of darkness. Every time you continue to believe, you open a new door in the spiritual realm. And my child, do not forget to pray for those who envy you. For jealousy is the cry of a lost soul. They are not truly against you, they are longing for what they do not yet understand. Let compassion rise higher than your wounds. One day you will look back and realize that those who hurt you actually pushed you closer to your appointed blessing. No enemy can touch what has been sealed in heaven. Archangel Michael declares, child of light, fear not when the darkness whispers around you. Every threat it utters is merely an echo of its defeat. Let those words be engraved upon your heart, for they are a promise. When you feel weary, remember that a host of angels is fighting on your behalf. There are battles you cannot see yet, they are being waged, and you already stand on the side of victory, for the light within you cannot be extinguished. As you walk through this season, keep your eyes fixed on the goal, love with a mission. You and the one destined for you are not just two hearts bound together, but two warriors fighting for the same kingdom. God does not unite two souls merely for their happiness, but so that they may drive back the darkness together. When two lamps burn as one, their light doubles. When two prayers merge as one, the gates of heaven open wider. Therefore, do not fear the battle. See it as a sign that heaven is moving. Every hardship is proof that the covenant is powerful. Every trial confirms that you are walking the right path. God says, I did not promise you an easy road, but I promised you would never walk alone. And indeed, He has never left you to fight by yourself. Beloved, stand firm. When the winds of jealousy rise, God will turn them into the breath that carries your sails farther. When others try to extinguish your light, He will cause it to shine even brighter through the cracks. And when all the noise fades, the world will have to acknowledge that love built upon God cannot be shaken. My beloved child, the time has come for you to cross the new threshold where the old no longer has the power to bind you, and where light begins to unveil fields yet unseen. The long journey you have endured was never meant to exhaust you, but to prepare you for this moment. Every trial, every tear, every whispered prayer has led you here, to the meeting point between what was and what is coming, between what you once prayed for and what is now becoming reality. God says, my child, I do not want you to stand only at the riverbank of promise, but to cross over. I have already dried the waters that once separated you from your appointed land. And my child, the only thing you must carry with you is faith. Leave behind your doubts, your self-blame, your traces of disappointment. For what is coming requires a heart as light as a bird ready to take flight. Crossing this threshold is not an escape from the past, but an offering of it. Every pain, every wound, every rejection that once broke you, lay them all upon the altar of God. He will turn them into sacred ashes from which new life will bloom. What you once thought was loss was merely a seed sleeping, waiting for its season of resurrection. Archangel Michael declares the gates of heaven are open and the call of destiny resounds. Do not look back, for what lies behind you is no longer the dwelling place of your soul. Step forward, for every breath you take now is an amen to heaven's divine plan. My beloved child, to cross this threshold is to believe in what you have not yet seen and to praise what your hands have not yet touched. Just as Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going, you too are invited to walk guided only by the Holy Spirit. For the future is not drawn with maps but with faith. And true faith does not demand proof, it only needs the Word of God as its foundation. You may be afraid. You may worry that you are not strong enough, not ready enough, not worthy enough, but remember, it is in weakness that His power is made perfect. Crossing the threshold is not an act of perfection but a declaration of surrender. When you say, "Lord, I am ready," He will open doors that you could never push open on your own. And once you enter, nothing will make you turn back, for the new light will make the old darkness unrecognizable. My child, this threshold is not only for you personally but also for the mission you carry, for when God unites two souls in a love with purpose, He also initiates a new era of spiritual influence. The love He plants between you and that person will become a lamp for many others. Those who still believe love is merely an emotion, through you they will see that love can be revival. Micah 7:8 says, "Though I fall, I will rise again. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light." This, my child, is the spirit of the new chapter. No one crosses the threshold without having first stumbled. No one receives the promise without once being lost. But you have risen, and God is lighting your path. From now on, each morning you awaken, you will no longer ask, "When will God act?" for He already is. Every breath you take is proof that His plan is still unfolding. Every tear that dries is a sign that the miracle is drawing near. You are no longer bound by the limits of time, for you have stepped into Kairos, the appointed moment of heaven where every promise begins to manifest. Beloved soul, imagine yourself standing before a golden field beneath an open sky. Angels are placing the final stones upon the path of your destiny. They are calling you, and the light from their wings streams down like rivers of silver, and in the midst of it all God is smiling. He does not see you as one who wandered off, but as one who has returned home. You have walked through fire, through storms, through tears, and still you kept your faith. That is what makes you worthy, not because you are perfect but because you have been faithful. Archangel Michael proclaims, "Every path has been made straight, every gate has been wiped clean of dust." Step forward without fear, for what awaits you beyond is no longer a trial but a reward. My child, look ahead. What you are about to encounter is not only a companion but divine appointments, people, circumstances, opportunities, and missions prepared by heaven itself. Each one is a new chapter in the greater plan. For true love does not end in personal happiness. It expands like ripples on water, touching countless other souls. God is turning the love you receive into seeds of restoration sown upon the dry soil of the world. Beloved soul, crossing this threshold is the rite of rebirth. You are not merely leaving behind what was old, you are stepping into the destiny written by His own hand. You are no longer the one afraid to love, afraid to fail, afraid to be left behind. You are the chosen one, called to lead in love, to prove that those who put their trust in the Lord will never be put to shame. As you walk forward, carry the lamp of gratitude. For gratitude is the language that widens heaven's gates. Do not give thanks only when miracles appear. Give thanks even before they manifest, for that is faith in its purest form. And soon you will see the miracle is not only what happens to you, but that you yourself become a miracle for others. My child, this is the promise for your future. I will go before you and level the mountains. Isaiah 4:5-2. There is no path you will take where the footsteps of God have not already gone before you. No trial you will endure without angels standing guard. No tear will fall that is not counted. Your future is not uncertainty, it is a symphony being written by the hand of heaven. Thank you for listening to this message. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any divine message that heaven prepares for you. Amen.